Welcome to the stage, Director of the Bridgetown Initiative for the Office of the Prime Minister of Barbados, Pep Bardouille.
My goodness, I didn't expect that. Good morning. I am Pep Bardouille, and I am the Director of the Bridgetown Initiative, a bold global agenda aimed at transforming the international climate and development finance architecture. Why does this matter? Globally, we need at least $5.4 trillion a year to address inequalities related to the Sustainable Development Goals, which will provide basic living conditions to people around the world who do not have sufficient food, water, healthcare, and education services, amongst other things. But we also need, in parallel, to address the climate crisis. $5.4 trillion is a lot of money, and right now it's not clear where those resources are going to come from. In this capacity, I have the singular honor of working for the absolutely amazing Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor-Motley. Barbados championed the Bridgetown Initiative, so it was named after the capital city. And this was coined in 2022, when it became very clear that we needed to do something different in order to hustle and change the way resources are allocated. So the Bridgetown Initiative has a number of tenets that relate to providing additional liquidity, addressing the critical challenges of debt that countries around the world, from Sri Lanka to Zambia, have struggled with for the past many years, to addressing how we crowd in private financing into climate change mitigation and adaptation. But those $5.4 trillion that we need, while they're a global figure, really relate to resources that country platforms or country action plans need to crowd in. And so we have developed over the past several months a plan for prosperity and resilience. And notice that it does not say only climate resilience for Barbados. We believe that this plan can set the stage for countries around the world to develop their own approaches to resilience and sustainability. Well, what does this mean ultimately? It means that we want to see an increase in the sustainable economic growth rates of countries. And so that little dotted line shows that versus a business as usual case, we have increased growth over time. But it also means that our ability to both withstand shocks, which means the extent to which our economy declines if there is a climate crisis, as well as the speed at which we recover, which is point C, will shift as well. So we're trying to create a system which is able to literally weather the storm. How do we do this? Well, we do this by not just looking at reinforcing roads and bridges and making sure that people's roofs don't fly off when there's a Category 5 hurricane. We do this by building the foundation of social infrastructure. We make sure that health and education is strong. We make sure that there are opportunities for the bright young people that many of our countries, particularly in the Caribbean, have. These are resources that we're losing to the global north. We have tremendously educated young people who get their degrees and then do not have anywhere to go in a small island context. So they come to the US, they go to Canada, they go to Europe, and we have an effective brain drain. At the same time, particularly for small island states, we don't have very many resources because our territories are so small. But we do have large ocean states. So Barbados' investment plan is predicated on 12 areas, and there's one in particular that I would like to focus on. The total investment opportunity for Barbados is $14.5 billion over the next 10 years. That's an opportunity and not just a cost. And we believe that about half of the investment can lend itself to private sector participation. And one area in particular relates to the blue economy. Barbados is seeking to become the world's first blue Silicon Valley. We want to transform the country from a small island developing state to a large ocean state that crowds in the best and the brightest technologies, research, investment, and basically innovation that leverage all the tremendous skills that we have on the island and create something that can be replicated across the many island states globally. This is going to cost in excess of at least $1 billion. And I invite you to come and discuss how we can transform the country together in a curated roundtable that we'll be having in Barbados in July. Thank you.